Okay, we've got another Tuesday training from Jason Hancock with Pillar to Post. And what's our topic today, Jason?
Today we will discuss windows.
All right, what are we going to talk about windows?
Some of the efficiencies, some of the plus and minuses of replacing older windows. I sent you the little attachment that has a little two paragraphs about U factors and solar factors on efficiency of windows. I know it's pretty common. Sometimes replacing windows can increase the value of a home. Sometimes it can just help sell it. Depends on the window you put in there. Obviously, there's three major types of windows. You got your wood, metal, and vinyl. Vinyl ones I like personally because they don't have rot. My windows are vinyl, and they've been in there for 15 years, and they work just like the day I put them in. I know other ones are nicer, but you also have to keep up the maintenance on them to make sure they stay in working condition and in good condition.
Right.
Some of the older homes, if you're trying to keep the original look of the home from back whenever 1800s or 1900s, sometimes you can put on a storm window, and that will help increase efficiency. Depending on the condition of your windows, do they open and close? Are there locking mechanisms there? You might want to consider replacing the window just to help improve the efficiency and look of the home.
Okay. Yeah, we had a combination of types on the house that we're in, and we just replaced all of those last year. So we're excited to see how much of a difference it's going to factor into on our monthly spend. So this is the first month like that we were there. So we bought it and moved in January last year. So now we'll hopefully start seeing some of the differences.
Always be careful when replacing windows. Talk to a qualified window person. Sometimes the claims of getting 50% more energy efficient out of windows is bunk. Don't fall for it. They're just trying to spend extra money that may take you 30 plus years to get back. That's why I said sometimes you might just replace it with like a double pane, possibly argon filled window. You'll get just as much efficiency out of it. And of course, you always have the improvement of sound barrier. Maybe it'll make the house quieter from the street noise, what have you. And that's always something else to consider too. And of course, eliminating the drafts, cold spots in the home. If you got the older window and they're working condition and good condition, and you put on a storm window, that will help with efficiency as well.
So some people that are watching might not understand what a storm window is. So do you want to explain that to them?
Well, it's another window that's placed on the outside of the home. Properly installed creates a barrier between that window and the original house window. So you have less chance of air getting in to the home.
So I've seen those like with a metal, like an aluminum style
Correct.
frame with the glass. The house that David and I had before this one, we had wood storm windows. The house was built in the 40s, and they were actually on the inside of the house. As crazy as that is. Yeah. So something different. I've never seen it in another house.
Expensive ways you can double glaze a single pane window. So basically what you're doing is taking another pane of glass and putting on the inside of the original window. It helps improve the efficiency quite a bit, but those are more expensive, possibly more expensive than just replacing the window altogether.
Right. So the one we can definitely tell a difference draft wise, like we've got a mid-century house built in the 50s, and we had some old original metal windows. And last winter we're laying there in bed and you can feel it like coming in over the top of your face. And so we've already noticed a difference with that. So whether the bill is different or not, at least it's not cold on my face.
This should help.
Yeah, I'm sure it will to some extent.
Yeah. And of course, you always have the advantage of it potentially increasing the value of the home, depending on the window you get. Sometimes you'll replace them and maybe it'll just help you sell the home. There's always advantages to replacing your windows, but is the advantage benefit greater than just fixing up or repairing what you have?
I would say on most things, it's probably going to make it more appealing if they're newer windows, not necessarily a price, but then if you have multiple people that want it and that's a
Mhm.
factor that's playing into it for them, then it could drive the price up. But
Sure.
usually, I mean, I look at it more like a maintenance thing that they just need to make sure it's getting replaced if it needs replaced or if it's
In
broken,
the end, there are components of the home that need to be in working good condition.
kind of like a roof.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Which is one of our future topics pretty soon.
Ah, okay, good.
Yep.
So old school windows, like our houses here in College Hill and Riverside and some of those. What do you normally see like issues aside from, you know, the efficiency? What are some normal things that you see when you're doing a home inspection on those types of windows, issue wise?
So we can see cracked glass, single pane, that needs to be fixed. The biggest thing that comes to my mind real quick is those older windows were set up on a rope with a weight in the wall. Those ropes are broke, so the window may raise, but it won't stay up. And that's when you start seeing the little paint
The ruler.
sticks or something that they stick underneath the window, hold it open. If you like your windows open. So
Okay, and if those panes of glass are broken, guys, if you're watching this and you're just like, what the heck do I do with this? It's not necessarily a call for a new window. It's just a new pane of glass. So Ace Hardware, if you take them in what size you need, they'll cut it. And then you just put it back in. There's pins and what's the stuff called that goes around it?
window putty.
Glazing. Glazing.
Yep.
So
And that's another
watch a
thing you can
YouTube
do on
video.
older
It's pretty
windows
easy.
is make sure all the glazing, or I've even told some clients use some caulking if nothing else, and reseal up that edge around the glass that's in the frame of the door of the window to help keep out any drafts.
Right. Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm looking through. I guess one other thing that I'm thinking of, like on our vinyl windows, and I've had you do home inspections for us, and they come back, with deficiencies, you're seeing like that. Uh, it almost looks like water. I mean, I
Haze.
guess it would be water or a haze, yeah, inside of it. So how would somebody go about fixing that, or what causes that?
So that would, most of the time it's the seal has broken that lets the air out between the two panes of glass. I think there are newer methods now they can come out and repair that. If it's argon filled, they can refill it. I'm not 100% sure on cost on that versus replacing the window, but that's usually what happens is the air has escaped between the two panes of glass and causes it to look white, lets moisture in there because now you have cold air meeting the warm air or vice versa, which obviously causes condensation or moisture problems in between the panes of glass.
There might be more than one company in town that does those fixes, but I know Glass Guru has come and looked at some of those for some of our clients, and they can definitely get that haze
Yeah.
out of there and that moisture out of there.
Yep.
I guess the only other thing aside from just replacing the whole window is just replacing like that one frame
Mm-hmm.
in the window, even if it's cracked or something like that.
Something like that. Yep. Some of the newer windows are pretty neat. They have the blinds built in between the panes of glass, and you
Yeah.
can raise and lower or open the louvers from the outside of the door there. Of course, then you don't have to worry about cleaning your blinds,
Right.
the door. So I think those are pretty cool.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yep.
We didn't get that fancy on ours, but I've had some back doors and things like that have had those on them.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at your notes here. Single pane, we've kind of hit on those on some of the older houses, and then you've got double pane, which 2 panes of glass, triple pane, obviously 3 panes of glass.
Yep.
How much difference do you think that extra pane between the double and the triple makes?
That's where I would get into a conversation with your window person. I don't foresee that being a huge benefit. Probably increase the cost, which may again take like 30 years plus to get the money back on that. So
By the time you
unless
do
you're
windows,
buying literally your forever home, it may not be worth to spend the extra money.
yeah, that's one of those things. I mean, there's several things when you're remodeling a house. It's like, am I doing this for me or am I doing this for resale? And you just have to weigh what the reasoning is that you're doing those upgrades.
Well,
But
and
yeah,
remember newer windows too, like mine, they call single hung. So the part that you raise and lower, you can actually, has two little latches on each side. Bring that window in, and it allows you to clean the outside and inside. Some of the newer ones are what we call double hung, so you can lower the top half of the window as well, bring it in as well, and clean out the outside and inside of the window as well.
Yeah, ours
Those
are
are
full
very
like that.
nice. Yeah.
It gives David something extra to do.
And of course, I see a lot of wood and metal windows that are on a crank. A lot of times on those, if they're wood, you possibly will see wood rot down in the corners when you open them. Also, a lot of those cranking mechanisms usually are damaged. And you got to be careful with those as well, because if the window has wood rot, it's a wood window. When you crank on it, it's just going to tear that window up.
Yeah. I've had to replace some of those, like go to Home Depot. I think it was an old Pella window on a 60s built
Yep.
house that I owned, and we could just replace that. Didn't have to go into the frame and all of that, but just the actual frame of the window with the glass piece inside of it.
Yep.
That wasn't hard to do. I mean, if you have windows that need that before you're getting ready to sell, or if you're buying a house that needs that, I mean, you just go in, take the measurement to them, order it, and then again, YouTube, you watch it and just screw it in. It's not a very hard cranks.
And always make sure, that's another big thing, is the cranks are missing. So you can't open and close it. So that's
I was trying to look up, and I've had some clients, this has been a long time ago. Do you remember anything about Posey windows?
Not really.
Okay. I'll have to look.
Windows.
I was wanting to say that they had like, they had some major issues, and I can't remember, like a class action lawsuit or something against it. So I'll have to look. We'll report back.
Cool. And then another thing I would say about vinyl windows, as much as I like them, they can be picky on installment. You need to make sure that your rough opening is proper, and that the window does have proper room around, all the way around the perimeter of it, for it to expand and contract with the temperature changes that are going on outside. Vinyl is very big on expanding and contracting. So if you get the rough opening too small and the window is trying to expand in the summer, it may prevent it from working properly, raising and lowering the window.
That's good to know. I would have thought wood would have been more temperamental with the climate change.
It has
like
some, but it's not quite as bad as the vinyls.
Interesting.
Yep.
All right. Well, it was just you and me today, so we're not going to ask anybody if they have any questions. If they do, they know how to reach you.
Well, I enjoy doing these with you, Leslie. Hope we get some, hope somebody learns something, a little bit, something out of it anyway.
Absolutely. And for any of you guys that are watching this off of YouTube or off of our Facebook business page, and you want the PDF that Jason sent to me that has all the differences in windows and things like that, message me and I'm happy to share it with you. And I'm happy to share Jason's contact info with you if you guys need a home inspection or if you have any questions about houses. So thanks for watching this.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.